Well, there's David Menzies. David, how many people are down there in support of Jordan Peterson?
I'm never good at those kind of estimations, Sheila. I always lose when I have to guess the number of jelly beans in a jar. But I would say it's a few hundred people. And they are here on Eglinton Avenue, which, of course, is in, I think, year 1500 of a construction disaster for the Eglinton LRT crosstown. I have a bet going, by the way, Sheila. What's going to happen first? They're going to finish the LRT, or the Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup? The worst thing I can say is the Leafs might win the Cup. But I guess what we have going here is psychological warfare. We have Canadians who really care about freedom of speech and all the other rights and freedoms that follow from freedom of speech, assembling here and taking a stand against the College of Psychologists of Ontario. As you know, they are on a political witch hunt. There's no other way to explain it, Sheila and Drea, against Dr. Peterson. They want to censure him. They want to reprogram him, not because he did something inappropriate to a former or current patient. Oh, no. It's because they don't like the views he is transmitting via social media. In other words, too right of center for their taste.
Now, what are the people telling you? Like, I know how we feel about this censorship, but what are the people saying?
They're outraged. One of the people here is, and he just finished his speech, is Maxime Bernier, the head of the People's Party of Canada. And they see this for what it is. It is yet another attack on freedom of speech. And Sheila and Drea, I can tell you, beginning with this, what we see with the College of Psychologists, and following up in the months ahead, the passage of Bill C-11, is 2023 the official year of censorship? That's what it feels like to me. And by the way, I can tell you, I don't see any of the mainstream media, aside from our good friend Joe Wormington with the Toronto Sun, CBC, CTV, Global News, Rachel Gilmore, they're all absent. They are not carrying this story because, again, it goes against the narrative. And also in 2023 being the year of censorship, all those news entities I just mentioned, they're benefiting in the hundreds of millions. In the CBC's case, and towards over $1 billion. They bought off the mainstream media. And now for people like us, the independent press, they're gunning for us. Trudeau used the carrot the last couple of years. Now he's brought out his stick.
Yeah, it's fascinating that we don't see somebody like Rachel Gilmore down there because she won't shut up about Jordan Peterson and his social media wrongs and his crimes on Twitter. You'd think she would be down there to see for herself why anybody in their right mind would support this man, but that might be too much like work.
She's on TikTok.
And yeah, it's too bad because maybe she could get some free psychological advice. Lord knows she needs it. But, ladies, if I can go back to earlier this month when Jordan Peterson first raised the issue that he's undergoing right now, I'll read you his Twitter quotes verbatim. Quote, breaking, the Ontario College of Psychologists has demanded that I submit myself to mandatory social media communication retraining with our experts for, among other crimes, retweeting Pierre Poilievre and criticizing Justin Trudeau and his political allies. I am to take a course of such training with reports documenting my progress or face an in-person tribunal and suspension of my right to operate as a licensed clinical psychologist. About a dozen people from all over the world submitted complaints about my public statements on Twitter and Rogan over a 4-year period. Out of the 15 million who follow me on social media, claiming that I had harmed people, not them, with my views, end quote. So that's the issue, ladies. Anonymous social media users took offense to Dr. Peterson's social media postings, had nothing to do with any kind of clinical psychology, had nothing to do with any kind of offensive behavior. allegedly against a former or current patient. And the Ontario College of Psychologists says, well, that's good enough for us. And as you know, I beg you, there are plenty of left-leaning psychologists that are tweeting every day. The college is not going after them, and nor would we want them to, right? We believe in freedom of speech. Doesn't look like the college does.
Drea, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to just stop. I think, once they finish eating whoever they want to eat, they'll go after their own when it comes to this kind of cancel stuff. Now, you said Maxime Bernier was there. Is there anyone else that's been sort of influential in sort of the freedom movement, or is this sort of a new group of people coming together for this issue?
Well, Drea, it's a good question. Another individual we saw, and I have tremendous respect for, is Pastor Henry Hildebrandt from Elmer, Ontario, that is. As you know, the authorities mercilessly went after his church, and he knows what it's like to have your freedoms taken away and to pay a hefty price as well. Some of the people here, I would say, are regulars with the freedom movement, but I have seen some other new faces too. And, plenty of automobiles and trucks going by, honking their horns. A few F. Trudeau flags in the crowd. Oh, I know. I think Aaron O'Toole might need some psychiatric help. He's probably in a fetal position right now, seeing those flags. But everyone from all walks of life here, they're all on the side of pro-freedom of speech. And I can't imagine we're living in a world where some people think freedom of speech is a bad thing.